Keep living the adventure. Axis of Awesome.
Incoming transmission.
Do you have any brothers or sisters that would like to visit me as well? Wow, lucky me.
What is up, adventurers? Welcome to a special Sunday in the shop, the post-Halloween edition. We are 2 days removed from Halloween. I am completely tired, not just from Halloween, but from putting together all these amazing Golden Skull videos. We're going to talk about that here in a second. We've got some guys who've jumped in the chat. We have Murray Corrigan and Andy and Indy, who both have decided to join us tonight. Thanks, fellas. I really appreciate it. I'm sure we might have some more guys jumping in later. But anyways, Halloween this year was absolutely a banger. Dude, I got to tell you, I've been doing Halloween like this for probably, I want to say 11 years now. So about 11 years ago, I think about 12 years ago, I think now, 2013 or so, when I started dating my wife, we kind of figured we wanted to do something cool for Halloween because not really anybody on our street was doing anything cool. So we went to Menards and we bought, I think, a really like a animatronic witch and some yard decorations, which we still have both. And I had went to Joann Fabrics that year, and they had a bunch of stuff on clearance. And I bought this really cool fabric, but they didn't have a lot of it left. And hey, Sean Huckster, thanks for jumping in, buddy. They didn't have a lot of the fabric left, but I bought it anyway. And at the same time, I want to say there's a show on Comedy Central called Workaholics. And if you've never seen Workaholics, it's really fun show. The first season is absolutely amazing. The second season's not so good. It's kind of when Hollywood was starting to shift away from, juvenile comedy, which I like. But the first season of Workaholics was awesome. And they did an episode on wizards. And the light bulb went off in my head. And I wanted to make a wizard outfit. So I had my mom sew me up a wizard outfit with that fabric. And that Halloween, the Wizard of Candy was born. It was completely out of the blue. I was outside passing candy out in a wizard outfit. And I'd had a few drinks. And I jumped into character. And I started calling myself the Wizard of Candy. And it stuck. And it's absolutely one of the funnest times of the year. In fact, there's kids who've been coming here since they were really, really little, and they keep coming back. There's people who've came to me when they were like just on the cusp of quitting trick-or-treating. Then they grew up and started having kids bring their babies. So I think we had a baby this year whose parents actually trick-or-treated here like 12 years ago, I think, or 11, something I can't remember. But anyways, it's become a big thing, which is interesting because a lot of people keep coming back and back and back, and they know me as the Wizard of Candy. So that's really cool. I've kind of managed to build something out of that I really enjoy doing every year. My son has his own wizard outfit, and he dresses up every year, and we have a really good time. And you saw some of the pictures I posted to Facebook and Instagram. It was probably our best Halloween ever. About, I want to say, trick or treat lasted from like 5 to 7, I think. And I think with about an hour to go, my dad went to Walmart and bought $100 more worth of candy. We actually, to start off the night, we had a large Tupperware tote, probably about 2 by 3, 3/4 of the way full of candy. We went through that, and then my dad went and got more candy. So we really, really did it big this year. And I enjoy doing it because I just, for me, Halloween's super fun. And I know there's people out there that look down on Halloween in a way. I just think it's fun because I love seeing the kids and how enjoyable it is for them to like participate in something super fun, like coming to trick or treat at the Wizard of Candy's place. So maybe one of these days we'll do a video of me in character and you guys can really get a laugh out of it. But anyways, all that being said, we had a great Halloween. I just got everything cleaned up yesterday and decided to put this live stream together tonight. So that brings me to my next thing I want to talk about before we get going. The Curse of the Golden Skull. I want to give everybody a personal thank you who participated in that this year. Thank you very, very much. When I first decided to do this late last year, and I approached Paul Knapp about it. Second, thanks, Paul, for helping me put all this together and becoming a part of this and also participating. But when I first put it together, I really didn't know how it was going to work out. I kind of just winged it. I didn't have a plan. And I don't want to say I half-assed it, but I really tried to do something cool to like make everybody feel involved in this Axis of Awesome group. And I really appreciated everybody who participated. And I know that not everybody had time or everybody really had the, everybody's at different phases in their lives and different stages of whatever they're going through or whatever. And some people just didn't have time or some people just didn't want to or whatever. But the people that did do it, thank you so much. We had a lot of really cool participants this year. And it was really neat to see people get out of their comfort zone and actually participate that don't normally do stuff, which I thought was really, really neat. So thanks all you guys for jumping in there. Wednesday night, I'm doing a very special live stream where we're going to do the drawings for the Golden Skull. Excuse me. We're also going to kind of go over each person's photos and videos and kind of talk about those. And it should be really, really fun. I really appreciated all those. There were so many really, really good entries. And I wish I could give a prize to everybody. But that being said, next year, I've already talked about this with Paul a couple weeks ago. We're going to be doing the Hunters of the Unknown. So be on the lookout for that next year. I think it's going to be really fun. And hopefully we can get more and more people to join in on this anthology project. I think it's really fun. And I know a lot of guys had fun doing it. So that's what's coming. Wednesday, we're doing that live stream. And then, of course, on the 13th of November, Greg Brown is coming back to the shop. We're going to talk about what's been going on with Cotswold Collectibles. If you guys have been following them, they've got a lot of really, really, really cool stuff that he's been in the works with. And I can't wait to get him on there and talk to him and see what he's been up to. It'll be probably a long one because last time Greg and I did a live stream, it was over 2 hours long. So it'll probably be a really good one. So be on the lookout for that. Also, thanks to everybody. I know, thank you, Sean. Those are really kind words, man. Thank you very much. Everybody who watched my Sorcerer of Atlantis Curse of the Golden Skull story, thank you. I had a lot of really nice comments. It was a really fun one to do. It took me all year to do it. So when I don't know if I've talked about this, like when I do a photo story, I get an idea and I jot it all down. I get like a script and then I build like a list of things needed for that. With this one, when I came up with it, it was actually it was going to be a sequel to the Jungle of Death, but but logistically I didn't have the stuff I was going to need to kind of make that happen when I was making Jungle of Death. So I scrapped it and started a brand new story, and that's kind of how this Sorcerer of Atlantis was born. It was really fun. I started filming this probably back in, I want to say February. Is when I started filming the Super Joe portions, and then I had to order stuff with the. I had to order the light from Hector, so I had to sell some stuff and make some stuff to sell in order to get the money to do that. And then, of course, I had to build props, so I had to get fabric for the wizard, and so I had to kind of work all that out and get that all logistically done with my mom. And then, of course, Ed from Action Figures helped me tremendously with the throne, and then Sean really helped me out a lot too by contributing the searchlight and stuff. And it was really fun to do. But it took me all year to kind of get all those pieces. And when I would get the pieces, I'd have to get everything worked up to go out and make the shots. So the last shot where we were under my porch doing the prison for the sorcerer was probably about a month ago. Me and my son got down there, and he brought all these toys down there and dug holes and stuff. It's a weird vault under my porch. It's really cool. And I love doing it. And I really love the way it turned out. I love the story. We'll talk about all those on Wednesday though, because there's a lot of really good stories I really enjoyed. Not just stories, there's great photos, and then also other projects people contributed that I think are all really cool. But anyways, thank you everybody for jumping out there and being a part of the search for the Golden Skull storyline. So that brings me to the next part of our live stream tonight. So like we did on one of our other live streams, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to mute myself, and we're going to go back to the shop and we're going to go over a bunch of stuff. So let's get that rolling. Stay tuned. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Okay. There we go. Hold on here. Trying to get this layout fixed. Let's see here. This is a difficult thing for me to do with this new setup, but we'll get it figured out. Okay. There we go. All right. How about now? Am I in there? Do I got sound? Hopefully. All right, there we go. Thank you. Sorry about that. My iPhone, I just did an update on my iPhone and it's jacked up all my shit I have connected. So as long as you guys can hear me, that's fine with me. So we're all good out there. Great. So, anyways, I wanted to talk about a lot of stuff here really quick tonight. First off, Golden Skull. Let's talk about all the stuff that I kind of made to do that photo story. I know you guys saw a lot of stuff in there. Obviously, this figure here. Some of you guys, I think I don't know if Sean, I sent you this particular shirt, or I sent you a Hawaiian shirt of some kind, but this was the main star. This is a commander, a muscle body commander that I retrofitted some arms on. From BBI. I've got a really cool video coming on those guys. So this was the kind of the star. I've always wanted to do a Adventure Team Commander video. So I finally got my chance to do an Adventure Team Commander video. So I was really happy to put that guy out there. So when I decided to make this, the monster I wanted to use, I wanted to have like a sea creature of some kind. And I had this is the guy we used. So this was the creature you guys saw in there. This is a raccoon skull that my brother gave me. It has 2 marbles for the eyes, and it's a pool noodle. And it's been kind of paper mache'd and painted a bunch of different colors. But I had fins. There were 2 fins that fastened to the head. And they came off during the filming. One's still under the porch. So, but this was our monster. I put a wire armature inside of him so you could manipulate him and do him whatever for my really brief stop motion. But the paint's flaking off really bad. So this is a 1-shot, 1-kill prop. But I really enjoyed this thing. It was really fun to make. I made it like really quick, but it was great to build this prop. I used obviously Hector's solar powered lights in the filming process, which was really cool. You guys have seen my review on those. I used those for the scene where they found the pit of skulls. And of course, I used a bunch of Sean Huxter's stuff, namely the spider. The spider kind of stole the show. I used my son's GoPro camera that we use for Hot Wheels videos, and I just kind of taped it to the top of that to create that video where it went into the tree there. And then I used a filter to use that computer screen. That was really fun to do. And the ant, we didn't know the ant was on it until later on. And that was really fun too, to see that ant crawling across the spider. I really thought that was super dope. You know, the funny thing is when my son was kind of watching the rough cut of it, as I was making it throughout the summer, there's the scene where the commander is drinking the beer on the beach in Borneo, and he throws the bottle down in the sand. And my son, Ollie, goes, "Dad, he probably shouldn't be littering." I'm like, that's a good point. It's a fair point. That's a fair point. But kids, man, kids are wild. But so that was the creature I made. There's the commander. And of course, like I said, I used a lot of Sean's stuff. And I had some stuff my mom sewed for it. But look, the guy that stole the show is the wizard. So this guy here, first of all, Ed from Action Figures had made this throne for something. And he went ahead and said, "Hey, I got this." I told him I was going to have to make a throne for this guy. And Ed said, "I don't make it." He goes, "I've got one and I'm just going to send it to you." So Ed sent this to me over the summer, and he made this out of foam. And that's hard to really see this, but this thing is really, really cool. I love the way he did this. Just the cool ornate stuff he put on it, the way he painted it. This was a perfect piece and a perfect scale for this guy right here, which was our Atlantean sorcerer. So if you guys pay attention to my live streams, you'll see I've got projects that I have laying around sometimes, but I don't have a use for them. So this guy here was a mummy that I had created, but I didn't really know what I wanted to use him for. So I sculpted the head with milk or polyclay and put him on a body. Used this as a GI Joe hand that I just cut the fingers off and molded fingers for on both sides. Then I sculpted the feet as well. But he's got a body under here that's just medical gauze or medical wrap, that elastic medical wrap they use for bandages, and I painted it gold. And then my mom bought a McCall's Barbie wizard pattern, and I had this fabric here. It's like an Art Deco fabric, which kind of matches the thumbnail that I used. I used AI to create the thumbnail. It kind of gives that Art Deco look. That's kind of what I went for. Then this is just simple foil. This is actually the same cardboard stock I bought to make my Super Joe vest for Adam and I's photo story a couple years ago. Then I just wrapped gold wire. So this is Thalmor, the Atlantean wizard. And I love the way this guy turned out. Now, while I was doing all this, I kind of made him in the middle of making this. Like, he kind of developed during the middle of making this photo story. So he was going to be a couple different things, but he turned out to be just this guy here. And he was great. I think it was great. I wanted to do more stop motion with it, but it was just one of those things where the lighting wasn't the greatest under the porch, and I tried to make it work as best as I could. Actually, the lighting, if you saw the green speckles in the scene with him, that was an old night light my son had as a kid that was broken. It just shot the green speckles and just made him motion, do like a motion thing. So that's what I used to make this scene. I used this guy, and it was super fun. This is probably one of the best. I'd say next to maybe my Jungle of Death Cannibal Nephilim, this is probably one of my best props I've built. Well, I don't know. My Abominable Snowman was pretty fun too. But yeah, this was a showstopper for the Golden Skull. So it was really fun to make this. So thanks Ed from Action Figures for helping me do that. I gave him a special shout out along with Sean at the end of that photo story, because both those guys really helped me out in a pinch. So let me put this guy off to the side here. So what else do we got going on? So those are the big things from the Golden Skull story. So of course, obviously, Wednesday night, like I mentioned, we're doing the drawings for the Mike Power figure that I made. It's a Cotswold body. I sculpted the head and painted it and custom flocked it. He's got a lens in his eye, and he's got a custom, I don't know if you guys can kind of see it, got a custom scar there, which is really, really cool as well. And one of my mom's Overland Explorer outfits. So this is going to be really fun. We'll do the drawing for that. Of course, the other second, I guess I wouldn't call it second place, the photo story, we're doing a Super Joe figure here, which I made with various body parts, and it's really fun too. He's got Formative Soldier of the World super articulated arms and BBI super articulated legs. So he's a really fun figure in that White Elephant Toys head sculpt that I went ahead and flocked black and added a scar to him. And then last but not least, for one of the other photo entries, I'm doing a custom just accessory set, scuba diver accessory set. Comes with the mask, shorts, flippers, oxygen tank, dynamite, and a few other things. One of my weight belts. So it's going to be cool too. So we'll definitely have all that done, and it's going to be great. So tune in Wednesday, and you guys will definitely have a good time. It's going to be a really fun live stream that I have planned. So can't wait to do that with you guys this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. And last but not least, I'm working on something else here. I don't know if anybody knows who this guy is. I don't know. He looks familiar. I don't know. Maybe you guys might recognize him naked. I don't know. Familiar, anybody? I'm working on this too. So thanks. Shout out to Andy and Indy who sent me this head a while back. I really appreciate it, Andy. I finally got around to painting it. Let's see, what else do we got going on? So I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday with my dad, my son. We had to go to Menards and grab some stuff. I grabbed some more wooden boxes. So I know there's people who've been interested in some of the weapons crate deals I make with my decals and whatnot. So I will be making some of those hopefully sometime this year or maybe next year. And I did manage to finally get some new casting material, as well as a brand new box of silicone. And also I just got a brand new build plate because I need a new build plate for my 3D printer. So we're going to get back to making some stuff. So some of the things that I plan on making as far as like head sculpts coming up are, I'm going to take that Takara Combat Joe head sculpt and I'm going to mold it and do some castings of it that'll mount to Vintage Cotswolds bodies. Let's see. I was also going to do a Henshin Cyborg head as well, a mold of it and maybe some castings of it. And then, of course, I've got this. Let me grab it. Got this Mike Powerhead that I'm going to do a mold of with this new bionic eye. I'm kind of inspired by White Elephant Toys, Mike Powerhead. So I'm going to do this guy and have him flocked and painted. So one other cool thing I got recently when we were at Menards yesterday, I know that Cody from Poplocks sent us a while back that Lowe's had those almost like 1/6 scale toolboxes. Well, same thing at Menards, but these are only $13. So they had a whole bunch of these. So go to your Menards and grab these. This is for my son because he loves red. And then I actually got myself a black one. And these are really cool for like, I should have bought every color, but I just bought the two. I might go back and get some more. So if you guys are out and about, head over to Menards and grab some of these. These are really, really fun. It'd be great for a G.I. Joe base because I'm planning on building a G.I. Joe base in 2026 or kind of some modular stuff. I've been looking at a lot of Randall Walls modular stuff, and I've reached out to Randall and talked to him about a few pieces, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for a G.I. Joe base. But these are really dope. Like I said, they were $12.99, and I got one for my son and one for myself. I did go to Lowe's. I know Sean's a big fan of going to Lowe's and finding stuff. I did find they had the mini 5-gallon buckets. I bought my son one. But I don't know what I'd use one of those for. But you guys out there who like doing diorama pieces, yeah, it's pretty awesome. So they had those. So we grabbed like 3 of those for my son and my dad yesterday as well. Right now, you guys have been following me on Facebook. I am working on a Christmas display. For our lake park. It's been something I've been working on for probably a few months now, off and on when I have time, but I've really ramped it up because we can start putting our displays out this coming Friday. I don't know if I'll be done. I've still got to take this galvanized steel and I got to cut it and get a drill press and drill holes to mount these for the stakes. But I'll kind of show you how everything's been coming out. So there are 7 elves. So there's a 2. This is the first ones I got. I think these aren't the first ones I got done, but these are the first ones I'm going to show you. These elves right here. Got this guy right here. 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 And then we've got Santa Claus right here. So Santa's the last one I just finished. I've got them all sealed with a seal coat. Now, we had almost a disaster last night. So I was down here in between college football games, and I decided to put a seal coat on this Santa. Now, he was different than the others because I used these oil-based paint markers on him to do all the detail work because I got tired of painting it by hand with acrylic, and it was great until I put the seal coat on it. Whatever was in the seal coat did not play well with the oil-based marker, and there's a few areas that started to run, and I caught it right off the bat. So I grabbed him, laid him flat, everything settled, it was fine, but I got a few areas that ran. I about shit because normally when I do this kind of stuff, I just do it and then leave for a little while and go do other stuff. Luckily, fate caught it, and I didn't have to scrap Santa and redo him. And like, that would have been really bad. So the last thing I have to do is there's a bag of presents that I got to finish up, and hopefully I can get that finished in the next few days. I've got the paint started. It's not a big deal if I don't get it finished. I'll take these guys out, put them where I'm going to put them in the park, and I can just bring the presents out. You can start putting them out on the 8th at the soonest, but it goes all the way up till Thanksgiving. I just want to beat some of the dirt bags. I shouldn't say dirt bags. That's not nice. My wife would be down there right now going, that is not nice. I want to beat some of the people in town that would annoy the shit out of me if they beat me to that spot. So it's important for me to get it out there and get it done. I'm not competitive, but I'm competitive when it comes to certain people in my town who I maybe don't have the best relationship with all the time. So I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Anyways, I'm not, maybe I am that petty. Anyways, that's what I'm working on right now. So I've been focusing all my time, which was really difficult because I was trying to finish up Golden Skull before I started on this, but it did not work out the way I wanted it to. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now with that. I'm really focusing on getting that done. And then when that gets done, I've got hopefully, if I can get it done by Thanksgiving, I've got another photo story I want to put out there. It's going to be super simple. It's going to be really cool. And that's where I'm at right now. So right now, we never stop in here. This workshop never stops. There's always shit going on, like all the time. And I don't know. It's just my mad science brain, I guess. So that's it for this portion of this live stream. So we're going to go back into my office. So I'll catch you guys in there in a second. Stay tuned. There we go. Now we're back. All right, guys. That was pretty fun. We had a lot going on in there. So just a lot of wild stuff going on right now. I think one of the things that I don't know why I'm good at it, but I'm really good at multitasking. So I can do a ton of things at one time. It's probably because that's kind of what I do with my job. You know, I'm working on like 3 or 4 different design projects all at once. So I have to budget my time, and I do the same shit at home. It might be a mental illness for all I know. I don't know. So anyways, that's what we got going on in the shop. I'm working on a ton of videos right now. I have like 6 videos going on that are in various forms of completion. I looked at my my iMovie lineup the other day, and I'm like, shit, I got to get some more videos out there. So I'm working on all that. So that's what's really going on with me. I'm just working on so much stuff all at one time. And I think somebody asked me the other day on one of the comments, like, I think it was, I can't remember. He's like, how do you have time? Is it Paul Barrett maybe? How do you have time to do all this stuff? And I'm like, I thought about that actually. I'm like, oh man, I don't know, because I got to do a lot of stuff with my family. Like we spend the whole weekend doing stuff together. And basically at night, while everybody's kind of winding down, I'm usually down here doing stuff. And I do stuff really quick, and I have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, Sean's right. Success is not a mental illness. No, it's not. I keep telling myself that all the time. I don't know if I consider myself successful though. But man, so yeah, thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. So yeah, to let you guys know, if you didn't see, back to those Christmas elves. So my mom, late last year, was on an auction site, a local auction site here in our area, and she found those. She found the Santa, a bag of presents, and the seven elves. They were like from the 1960s, I think. They were silhouettes that somebody put on plywood and then cut out. And she bought them. I think she paid like $120 for them. And she gave them to me. And she's like, "Hey, I got these. Do you think you can put them out in your yard?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, they're so old and oxidized. There'd be no way for me to do that. So I said, "But I will tell you what I will do. I will restore them a little bit, and then I'll duplicate them and hand paint copies of them to put out." And then we decided to do the lake thing. And I'm actually doing a video that's going to drop Thanksgiving, I think, or the week after Thanksgiving when the park opens. So I'm filming the video right now. I've been filming it for 2 months now, and it's going to be really fun. So anyways, back to all the projects I got going on. There's just a lot of shit going on. And this is always a busy time of the year because we got homework every night. I work out for at least an hour every night. We eat dinner together. We do a bunch of other stuff. And then we do weekends. And then my wife and I, take turns reading books to my son or having him read books to us before we go to bed. We do a lot of shit. So I do manage to carve out time to do stuff though. But not everybody's like that. I get it. I'm just, like I said, I'm kind of a psycho in that regard. But anyways, so what else? Oh, I had a special presentation I was going to do tonight too. I know people enjoyed the top 5, and I told you guys I was going to be doing some more top 5 stuff. So we'll get to that here in a second. But let's jump into the comments section and see who else has decided to join us. Of course, like I said, we had Sean Huckster has been in here. He dressed in 1978 in his judo gi with a lightsaber made from wooden dowels. I love it, man. Sean, dude, talk about a guy who is into a lot of stuff. You did judo, which is awesome, and you also are a curler. That's pretty dope, man. Then you're the Star Wars stuff, awesome. Let's see. Hey, Chuck, what's going on? Chuck joined us tonight. Glad you jumped in, man. Let's see. Sean says Halloween was huge when they were kids. Yeah, when I was a kid, Halloween was the shit. We trick or treated like 2 nights, 2 nights a week or every year. Tim Cope decided to join us. Thanks, Tim, for jumping in. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks, Sean. The Wizard. It did kind of turn out to be creepier than what I was gonna think it was gonna be, but it was a lot of fun. I loved that character. Yeah, Maria, the 2 cameras for sure. I tried. I did it well the last time. I think my phone just kills me sometimes. So, see, we had Robert Acevedo. Thank you for joining us all the way there from California, my man. Hope things going over well out there in the West Coast. Let's see. We got some other dudes jump in here. I noticed, of course, Ed from Action Figures. We gave him a shout out a little bit ago. Oh, and Andy knows the patterns for everything. Andy knows so much stuff. I had a guy reach out to me the other day about 3D printed items, and I sent him Andy's way. So I told him Andy was a really good guy and awesome. So hopefully he got a hold of you, Andy. Ernie's Attic. Thanks for joining us, Ernie. I really enjoyed your photo story. It was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad you jumped off into the deep end of the pool. It is really fun. By the way, check out, if you guys haven't checked out Turkey Merc, these little cups that he makes, these little espresso cups, are really, really cool. He makes a lot of really cool shit. Expensive, but if you want like an heirloom type piece, I bought my wife a skull, a small like an espresso skull last year. I think I did a review of it, but let's see who else we got on here. Thought Mr. Did Dan DiBiase jump on here? I don't think Dan's on here. I asked Paul today. I thought Stacy and Dan were both going to do entries for the Golden School, and I don't know. I didn't see anything on the Facebook page, so I'm not sure if they didn't do it or they did do it and I missed it. So I don't know. I'll have to reach out to those guys and ask them before Wednesday. But anyways, guys, as we move on, let's go ahead and let's get to the top 5. What do you guys think? All right. One of my hilarious top 5s. I just do these as kind of like a filler for the live streams because I just enjoy talking about a bunch of stuff. I could talk for 2 or 3 hours probably by myself. But anyways, top 5, the top 5 movies from my childhood in the 1980s is what I'm going to say, because the 80s, I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s. I kind of came to fruition in the 90s, and then everything else is kind of history. But these are the top 5 movies. I had to sit and think about it from when I was a kid. I'll get on the comments and see what you guys think of your top 5. We got here from Roberto. Oh wow. Oh yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, Roberto runs a wrestling promotion, and I think you also train wrestlers, if I'm correct. And I bet you that was super fun. I don't know if you caught me on Paul Knapp's the other night, but I wore one of my luchador masks. So that's really cool, Robert. So anyways, let's get to this, guys. The movies that made me. So when I was a kid in the 80s, movies were my escape. They definitely were my escape. Here's Dan. Oh, Dan. That sucks, buddy. That's okay. You can still put your photo out there. No problem. I still want you, if you can get it done, just throw one out there. We'll still love it and enjoy it, Dan. Don't worry about it. So like I said, movies were my escape when I was a kid, because every Friday night, either I'd watch movies on Sammy Terry, which is kind of like Svengoolie, probably a little older than Svengoolie, actually. Or we'd go to the movie theater, me and my dad or me and my brothers or my sister would go. And it was always great because I'd be in school all week. And it was always fun to go grab some popcorn and watch a really good flick. Now, my dad did not honor the ratings when I was a kid. So I went to a lot of R-rated movies when I was like 7, my son's age, which the R-rated movies today aren't nearly like the R-rated movies in 1980, 81, unless you're talking about Death Wish. Now, Death Wish, I probably wouldn't let my son watch Death Wish, but I would definitely let my son watch Conan the Barbarian or whatever. So let's get rolling. Number 5, The Goonies. So 1985 rolled around and I went and saw The Goonies. I went and saw The Goonies, I believe, with my brother, Matt. And we rode our bikes up to the movie theater and parked them, because you could still do that back in 1985 without people stealing your bikes. Nowadays, you would never do that at all. But I absolutely love that movie. The Goonies was one of those movies where you left the movie theater wishing that some cool shit like that would happen to you. Like you would be up in your attic and you would find some kind of crazy map that would lead you to a wild treasure hunt. And I got to tell you, man, when I first saw that movie and how it just all played out, it was a perfect movie from beginning to end. And it was really, really fun. Of course, several of the actors in that movie went on to have stardom, namely Josh Brolin. Of course, Data, the kid, was also in one of the Indiana Jones movies. He was in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. He kind of gained some new notoriety. He's kind of made a little bit of a comeback in movies lately. But that movie was absolutely fun. And like I said, it's one of those movies where if it's ever on TV, I'll sit and watch it. We tried to watch it a few weeks ago. My son, he really didn't get into it. He wasn't, he's probably not really old enough to appreciate it. But a definite banger from Steven Spielberg back in the day, just a perfect movie from front to back. And I can never find anything wrong with this movie. And I wish they still made movies like this today. And I understand, like in 1985, the world was completely different than it is today. But I think Goonies is timeless, and it really stands out even today. Ernie's like, love Death Wish. Death Wish was such a rough movie, man. There's some rough stuff. It's totally rough, man. Oh man, yep, you're right. Yep, Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings. That's right, and Mouth, right? Corey Haim, or Corey Feldman. If you ever want to really entertain yourself, follow Corey Feldman on Instagram and watch all his concerts he does. I bet those concerts are really fun. As a music guy, I can imagine it would be really, really fun. Oh yeah. Yep, Ed. I mean, you lived in upstate New York, so you know, I'm sure there's a lot of wild shit up there, man. Definitely. Like, yeah, we always wished we'd find something cool and go on an adventure with all your friends. That's all you ever wanted, right? To have all your best friends who you read comics with, collect toys with, play sandlot baseball with. You just absolutely wanted to have a cool adventure with your friends when you were a kid. And I don't know if kids are even like that anymore. You know, it's funny. Side note: we we took our son out to the high school because they had this trick or treat thing Thursday night. So all the high school kids like set up things throughout the high school, and you could go to different tables and get candy. Man, no disrespect, but that age group was. I was creeped out about how unemotional about anything those kids were. My wife was explaining it to me. She was like telling me that there's this generation of kids is like that. But I was like, it was almost like shit. What was that movie with the kids, all the little weird kids? Not the Stepford kids, but somebody out there in the comments is gonna know all the little weird kids, like the little blonde haired kids that have that had, like the weird eyes. It was almost like that. Like none of them got my jokes. Like this one girl had her face completely painted white, okay, and she had a pattern of dots around her cheeks and down her nose. And I said, "Oh," I said, "Are you Peter Gabriel from Shock the Monkey?" And she looked at me like I was completely out of my mind. And my wife even didn't know who that was. I'm like, like Peter Gabriel from Genesis went solo, made that really cool song, Shock the Monkey, great video on MTV. The girl just looked at me like I was talking gibberish. Village of the Damned, correct, Andy. Co said, Children of the Corn's close. But these kids out there, these high school kids, they didn't get my jokes, showed no emotion. I was really weirded out. I wanted to get out of there. I made a funny joke. One of the teachers was standing there, and my son was dressed as a Grim Reaper. And we were going through a line. She was like, "Oh, wow, you look so scary." And I said, "Yeah, we're going to the nursing home after this." And she just looked at me in horror. Like, she's like, "I can't believe you just said that." And I'm like, "Oh, my God." My sense of humor I would be probably kicked out of school today with my sense of humor. But I laughed. Anyways, so I love Goonies. Great movie. Great movie. All right. This is my number 4. Now, hear me out. I think Predator is Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movie. Absolutely, without a doubt. Do you guys remember when Predator came out, when they showed the trailer, you didn't even know what it was about. Like, you're like, what is this movie? Like, they didn't tell you anything. Like Starlog, Thangora didn't really have any information on this. And here we are. We're coming off Commando, Terminator, and here comes Predator. My dad and I went to see this in the theater, and dude, I was completely blown away. And I'll tell you what, the biggest disservice that was ever done from Predator were the shitty toys that came out after that. They did not do shit for this movie as far as toys were concerned. I wanted a Dutch figure so bad, and the ones they gave us were so shitty. And the fact that like Mattel, Hasbro, or anybody didn't jump on that movie and create a line of figures just based on, or even Kenner based on Predator was wild. We didn't get like Predator figures till like later on in the 90s when we had Aliens versus Predator from Kenner. But this was a great movie. Awesome concept. It was one of those cool movies where like you didn't really know Dutch's backstory or Dylan's backstory. You just knew they were kind of Black Ops guys who kind of knew each other a little bit. It's kind of like Star Wars in a way, no disrespect to Star Wars. It was kind of like Star Wars in a way where like you didn't know the backstory. It was just a really cool movie. And the creature was awesome. Everything was just, it was a perfect movie for Arnold Schwarzenegger. The only thing I think that would have made this movie even better is if Dutch would have been the same guy from Commando. Like it would have been a continuation of Commando. That would have been great. And I did read that he was supposed to be in not one of the Predator movies a while back. He was going to make a cameo, but never made it there. I think that he might have been in some of the Dark Horse comics, but I'm not sure about that. But absolutely, I think this was the pinnacle of Arnold Schwarzenegger for me. Commando was Sean's right. Commando was great one-liners, amazing. But I think this was peak Arnold Schwarzenegger. Absolutely amazing, cool character. The way it ended, all of it was just brilliantly done. All the different characters on his team down there in South America or Central America. I'm not even sure where it took place, but it's kind of funny because you think about it. They take on this mission with Dylan, who's working for the CIA, and of course Dylan's lying to them, which is like, of course that's what the CIA is going to do. They're going to completely lie to you and put your life in danger to accomplish their goal. And who knew their goal was I don't even know if their goal was to find this creature. That just was something that happened down there. But absolutely awesome. I would love to see Arnold make one more appearance in a Predator movie, but it's probably not going to happen. But you're right, Tim. Conan started it all. Conan is absolutely one of my favorite movies. So, yeah. So Predator is my number 4 movie from when I was a kid. Okay, number 3. So I was a big Monty Python guy when I was little. So my dad used to watch Monty Python all the time on PBS. We saw Life of Brian. We saw Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail is one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. We used to watch Benny Hill. All you people from the UK out there, you guys probably loved Monty Python's Benny Hill. We used to watch a lot of that wild stuff on PBS. Of course, Sean Huxter's a big Doctor Who fan. I used to watch Young Ones and Doctor Who and all that stuff would be on our public broadcasting. And my sister and my brother, my brother Matt and I went to see Time Bandits in 1981. I went and saw it when I was, that would have been I was almost 7 years old, I believe. And back then the movies used to stay in the theaters, weird links. But my brother Matt and I went and saw it. And dude, I got to tell you, at the time, I was scared shitless because when you watch that movie, for those of you guys who've watched it or never watched it, it's basically about these group of they're little people who are like thieves, and they steal this map of time, and then they kidnap this little boy, and then they take him on an adventure with them. And the idea of people coming to you at the middle of the night and kidnapping you to take you on an adventure across space and time was pretty terrifying to me. So I had nightmares for a while about it. But I love that movie. And I've watched it probably a dozen times over the last, I'd say 44 years maybe of my life, or 46 years, I guess. Would that be right? No. I can't even do math right now. Anyways, I've watched it a ton. I love Time Bandits. It's so fun. They did a terrible remake of it that for Apple, which absolutely whoever decided to remake it lost the whole plot. I mean, they just did. If you've never seen the movie, watch it. It's fantastic. It has a lot of the Monty Python's people in it. It's brilliantly done. The practical effects are awesome. And the story is absolutely amazing. It just travels through time and all. There's a lot of famous actors in it as well. So if you've never seen it, definitely give it a watch. It's fun. They made Baron Munchausen several years later, which was fine, but it wasn't anything like Time Bandits. Time Bandits is still one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just such a banger. It's got a great English sense to it. And man, it's just great. The scene with oh my gosh, the main guy from Monty Python's, he plays Robin Hood, and it still cracks me up to this day to see his portrayal of Robin Hood. John Cleese. John Cleese as Robin Hood is awesome. Sean Connery is in it. I think he plays Agamemnon or one of the one of the Greek kings, but it's a great movie. So if you've never seen Time Bandits, definitely check it out. It's right up there. Of course, number 2 for me is Return of the Jedi. So I was really little when I saw Star Wars. I absolutely loved it. I was a little older when I saw Empire Strikes Back, which was I was horrified when Luke got his hand cut off. Now, you got to understand, I was Luke Skywalker was my favorite character in Star Wars when I was a kid. I absolutely loved Luke Skywalker. There was absolutely nothing better than him. He was such a hero to me. His character was great. Mark Hamill, of course, that's his greatest acting role. If you're not going to count him as the Joker and all the Batman animated stuff, which I don't. And I know, Sean. I know. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. The reason it's my favorite movie as a kid was when Luke Skywalker ignited that green saber on Jabba's sail barge, and you got to see him become. I mean, he's almost a Jedi in Empire Strikes Back when he got his hand lopped off. I won't argue Empire Strikes Back is the best of all the movies. That is absolutely correct. But this was as a kid, Jedi was my favorite movie. The Ewoks were dumb as hell. Everything was dumb as hell. But when Luke ignited that green saber on Jabba's sail barge, and you're like, holy shit, Luke Skywalker's a Jedi. I loved that part. And it was stuck with me. I had almost all the figures. I loved Return of the Jedi when I was a kid. Looking back, me as like almost 51 years old, I watch Empire Strikes Back all the time. It's just Empire Strikes Back so great. It's so great. But when I was a kid, seeing Luke Skywalker in that Jedi style rule when he takes out Jabba's sail barge and fights everybody was just so. I was so pumped. I probably almost cried. I was so happy when I saw that. But that was back in the day. That was in the old days. So number 1 all time for me, Tim Cope talked about earlier, Conan the Barbarian. This was the first movie that was adult oriented. That I guess this is the first movie that wasn't an animated kids movie that I went and saw as a kid. My dad took me to see this movie because my dad reads a lot, and my dad read all the Conan books, and he's like, hell, I'll take Jeff to go see this. So we went on a Friday night, and I can remember this clear as day. I talk about this with my dad all the time. I can remember clear as day when we go to movies, my dad would cover my eyes during nude scenes. And he'd take his hands and he'd put them over my eyes during nude scenes. Nothing else. Language, nothing. And the only time my dad covered my eyes is when Conan was in that witch's hut and they started having sex. And he covered my eyes for that whole scene. Nothing else in that movie did he cover my eyes for. Not Sandal Bergman, naked. It was the witch scene. Nothing else. Conan killing, chopping people's heads off. Conan's mom getting her head chopped. Nothing. And I walked out of that movie, and after that, I was completely hooked on sword and sorcery. I became a giant sword and sorcery fan. I started going to the comic book store and getting Conan comics. My mom and dad would buy me Conan comics. My sister would bring them home from the grocery store. Of course, that's around the same time Masters of the Universe came out. If you guys saw Paul's live stream with Toy Room Insanity the other night, that was awesome. I love that guy's toy collection. It's so cool. I could have talked to him for like 2 or 3 hours. I loved everything sword and sorcery. And it was all because of Conan the Barbarian. It shaped everything about me in the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the reasons I started working out and lifting weights. I have all my Arnold bodybuilding books. I would get Bodybuilding Magazine, Muscle Mag, all those things when I was young. And I'd say Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hulk Hogan were 2 of the most influential male role models outside of my own dad and brothers in my whole life. And Conan the Barbarian is still, in my opinion, Arnold's greatest movie. The sad thing is Conan the Destroyer was so terrible, and you hear interviews with or read interviews with Arnold about how it was gonna be, and then how it was actually done. Um, Two different movies completely. They made it, I think, more kid friendly than Conan the Barbarian, which is something I don't like because Conan is not really kid friendly. It's just a raw, awesome character by Robert E. Howard. Coincidentally, I just got my second Scourge of the Serpent comic from Titan Collectibles. It's really good. It's a great story. If you guys love Conan, start reading Titan Collectibles, or Titan Comics, I guess. The Heroic Signatures. These are great comics. They're doing a great job, almost as well as Dark Horse comics. They're almost there. They're not quite there, but I absolutely loved Conan the Barbarian. And I don't know about you guys out there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, dude, I gotta tell you. Yep. Let's go through some comments here. We'll go back to this. Yeah, Ernie. I like Return of the Jedi when I was a kid. It was great. Yeah, when you're a kid, you like dumb shit. I even like that goofy Ewoks movie when I was a kid. I watched that and it was amazing. Um, yes, Ernie. Conan is great. Uh, no, it's not for kids. Nope. I saw it when I was like almost 7 or 8, and I would never let my son watch that. Maybe I should. I don't know. We need some stuff for kids. Uh, yep, yep. Sword and sorcery, absolutely. Yep, I'm addicted to it too. Hell, you got one of the dwarves as your icon, which I always laugh when I see that because I love dwarves, man. I love them. I love that scene in let's see. Oh yes, the Hercules movies with Lou Ferrigno were low key awesome. Really good movies. Um, were you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the Steve Reeves movies. Okay, I was talking about Steve Reeves is awesome. One of the first bodybuilders, amazing. Um, I love the ones with Lou Ferrigno too, the Hercules movies. I know they made one, and then the other one it was going to be a Hercules movie, I think, but something happened and they couldn't. But anyways, it's a completely different story. But yeah, Conan the Barbarian's great. I love Tim. I love dwarves too. I got these fantasy books with dwarves, and I was talking to my son about dwarves and stuff. And I love the scene in was it The Hobbit, the very last Hobbit movie, when the guy comes riding out there on the wild boar? Like I was like, holy shit, that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Yep, yep, you're absolutely right, Ernie. It's awesome. So, anyways, those are my top 5 movies, guys. When I was a kid, of course, I'd love to. I'd love to the next top 5. Maybe I'll put it out early what my top 5 is going to be, and everybody can kind of get their own list and throw it out there in the comments as well. It gives you something to think about because when we were kids, man, there's a lot of cool movies out and about, even like dating back to the 50s, 60s, 70s. I still like watching Darby O'Gill and the Little People. The Banshee scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But yeah, I've got a lot of top 5s lined up. I've been kind of making lists and then going into doing my presentations on my little MacBook with my old PowerPoint to share with you guys, just as something cool to engage with you guys with on these live streams. But man, that's about it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. We shared a lot of stuff, and like I said, like I started off with, thank you for everybody who participated in the Golden School project. I think it was really, really fun. And as we move into 2026 on my channel, I'm going to do a lot more photo stories this coming year. I kind of want to do. My goal is to take all the stuff that everybody makes, like Sean makes all these amazing gadgets, and get some clothes from Cotswold and some of these other creators, and kind of put the spotlight on everybody who makes cool stuff for our hobby, because I think our hobby right now is really, really fun. And I say this a lot, and I sometimes I feel like I come off like a kind of douche. I don't mean to. When I say, like, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that they're great. Like, if you want to find out about what the newest toy is, and all this stuff, it's great to get on there and talk about that stuff. But like Toy Sanity mentioned, like, the new toys are great. They're so great, it's almost like they're too good. And vintage stuff's really cool to go back and collect, because it's kind of a time capsule that brings back memories of your childhood. But more important to me is, like, having a toy and throwing it on the shelf is one thing. It's great to have all this stuff in, but it's also fun to get out and play and to take your stuff and do toy photography, make photo stories, or just do videos and talk about this is this guy. I love to do this guy, or whatever. And to my opinion, it's so important because it keeps our imaginations going, it keeps us active, and it keeps us moving forward in life. And I think it's cool to kind of go back to your childhood and try to reconnect with that wonder and awe, like those top 5 movies gave to me as a kid, and being able to tell all my jokes and take them and do like shoots at places and bring them all home and kind of build a story. It really it makes me happy. And that's why I always tell everybody, like, it's fun to do videos just talking shit, and you can do videos and argue with people who talk shit about your channel, whatever. That's fine. That's what you want to do. That's great. I just think it's better sometimes to just cancel all the noise out, grab your toys, go outside, and try to make something cool. And everybody who participated in Golden School, I think, did that, and I really appreciate that. So as we close up tonight, guys, I really appreciated everybody who jumped in the chat tonight. We had a lot of really cool comments. I really appreciate it. And be on the lookout for Wednesday when we do the Golden Skull drawing. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. It's going to be fun. We're going to recap everything, and I hope to see you then Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's about it, guys. I enjoyed our time tonight. I hope you guys are going to have a great week. We'll see you Wednesday. Remember, that's the only video we're doing this week. And we'll be back next week with a brand new Reviews Day. And Greg Brown will be jumping in the shop. And I think that's going to be a really fun one. Now, some of you guys out there who wanted to come on the live stream, who've inquired about it, I'll be reaching out to you. I know we got Moon Doggy coming up. I definitely want to get Sean Huckster back on there again. Of course, Ernie, I'll be shooting out to you one of these days to come on, and a lot of you other guys. So I've got a big, huge, long list of people to come on who's in the shop. So don't feel like I'm ignoring you. I definitely want to have everybody on. It's just scheduling everybody to get on there. So I will be doing that in 2026, especially since Paul's kind of dumping his Mondays. I can't wait to see what those guys are going to do, because those guys are going to be really, really fun. So I'll be on the lookout for that. Guys, had a great time. Have a great week. And in the meantime, keep living the adventure and